In this video, I'm gonna walk you through exactly how much you can get paid in technology sales. This is gonna apply if you are just graduating from university or college, or if you are working in another job and you're thinking about starting a career in tech sales. I'm gonna show you how these salaries and commissions work. We're also gonna cover what salaries look like as you start advancing in your sales career, so you can really see if this is a viable option for you. What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick here. Before we get started, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's get started. So let's go ahead and first talk about the starting salary of a sales development rep, also known as business development rep, SDR, BDR, pretty much the same thing, right? Now, as we dive into it, the first thing you gotta understand is that there's gonna be a base salary, right? What you get paid as a salary no matter what. And then there's going to be commission, right? So if you do the job like generate meetings, close deals, you're obviously gonna get commission on top of your salary. And when you get two of these things and you put it together, that's gonna be called an OTE, also known as on target earnings, right? So as we talk about salaries, I'm gonna talk about salaries and I'm also gonna talk about OTE. So just know that that's OTE. All that means is salary plus commission, all right? Now, if you're working in like Europe or America, the starting salary for an SDR, this is an entry-level role, is going to be between $40,000 and $65,000 US dollars, right? And this is just the salary that you get paid. Now, when it comes to doing well and your OTE, total, it's gonna be 70K all the way up to 90K USD. Now, if you think about it, this is actually quite a lot of money for an entry-level role, and you're absolutely correct, right? This is gonna apply for whether you're just graduating from university or if you are starting a new sales career and you transition from another job. Now, when I graduated from university, I went to the University of Southern California, and when I started working at Oracle, what they offered me was 75K OTE. And I actually made more than six figures my first year, but that's essentially what they offered me as an entry-level role. But actually, I joined in as an account executive, but they gave me the compensation of a sales development rep, but still I made it work, so it's all good. Now, you might be wondering at this point, why would a salesperson get paid so much, especially if they're just new on the job and they actually don't know how to do anything? And the reason is because I think one, sales is a very difficult role to do and not many people want to do it, so obviously you get paid more for it. Number two, your job is to make money for a company. So if you are good at your job and you do what you're supposed to do, in a way, you're free, right? So let's say your OTE is 75K. Well, if you get paid 75K per year, you hit 100% of your quota, well, you probably are free, meaning that you're generating meetings for someone else to close. And then when that person closes those deals, maybe they're making $1 million. So if you only cost 75K and the company makes $1 million, well, you're free, right? Because your cost is covered from the revenue they generate. So that's why salespeople are always paid so much and they're getting paid high commission, is because all the activity that they do, if they are successful, theoretically, they should always be making the company money back. And so they cover their own cost, right? It's not like an expense that just keeps increasing and kills your business. It's like an expense that makes you more money than it costs. So it's almost like free money. And if you think about it, it's kind of funny because as an SDR or a BDR, where all your role is really just to generate leads. So that's cold calling, sending cold emails, sending LinkedIn messages, and all you're doing is saying like, hey, this is what we do. Do you want to have a meeting? Let me know. And then the person, usually it's a high-level decision maker, will book a meeting on your calendar, and you talk to them for like 5-10 minutes, and you just see if they're interested in moving forward. And then you would just transfer that call to an account executive, which is someone who closes deals, or like a closer. And then you pass it to the closer, and then the closer does all the work when it comes to closing the deal. So an SDR, that's kind of strange, right? You think about it. Why would an SDR get paid, like 75K, for example, for just generating meetings? And like I said before, right, those meetings are very valuable because you're getting in the door with high-level decision makers who can make big purchasing decisions. And a lot of times these people are very hard to reach, so you can't just run like a Facebook ad and get the CMO of Amazon to book a meeting with you that way, right? They're not clicking on ads. So that's why salespeople are required to either call these people, reach out to them over and over and over until they actually get a meeting, and then hopefully that meeting will lead to something more fruitful. And when it comes to base salary, also consider where this job is located, right? So if you're in New York or San Francisco, where I used to live, obviously you're gonna get paid more because the living cost is higher and companies understand it, so they have to compensate for that. But if you're living, let's say in Texas or the Midwest or somewhere in more middle America, well, you're not gonna get paid as much. It might be a little bit lower, like 5 or 10% lower, depends. And that's just the reality of it. And that's totally okay. So now that you got understanding of the base salary and things like that of an SDR, let's go ahead and get into the account executive, where a lot of people who become SDRs, they want to level up, and then usually they want to become an account executive, which is someone who actually closes the deal, right? So the base salary of an account executive can be anywhere between $55,000 to $85,000. And it's really going to depend on how long you've been doing it, if you had some account executive experience, you're coming into a company, or where the company is located. There's so many different variables that determine that base salary, but in general, 55K to 85K. And then your OTE is gonna be anywhere between 120K to 140K, right? So that's gonna be the salary plus commission combined. So what's really interesting about when you go from an SDR to an account executive is that you kind of notice that your salary and your commission increase quite a lot, right? You can be going from making, let's say 60K, 70K a year as an SDR, and then when you get promoted to an account executive, you can be making 6 figures by then, right? So in reality, if you really work hard and you get the results, it's very possible to actually make 6 figures pretty quickly, maybe within a year and a half or 2 years once you get into that account executive role and start balling out, right? And it's kind of interesting because, there's not many professions or careers out there that allows you to move up the income ladder so quickly besides sales, right? Like, let's say for marketing, for example, you might start at 50K and then every year you go 60K, 70K, 80K, and then you work your way up to 100, right? So it takes quite a bit of time. But when you're an SDR and you just go to an account executive, well, you can be making more than $100,000 per year pretty quickly. And for me, when I was at Oracle, I started as an account executive at Oracle, but because I just graduated, the compensation model that they gave me was similar to what an SDR would get, but then I was an account executive, right? So they were actually getting quite a good deal because they got an account executive, even though I didn't have any experience, but they got an account executive for the price of an SDR. But in the end, because I did well and my team did well and the territory did well, I was able to make more than 6 figures my first year with that compensation model. And then when I switched jobs and I started to work at Lob, which is a Y Combinator backed startup, then my compensation model was more appropriate to my role. When you start out as an account executive, there's gonna be different tiers, right? Many companies have different tiers. They might call it like 1, 2, 3, or they might do like small, medium business, mid-market, and then enterprise account executive, right? There's so many different ways to name it. Every company is gonna be different, but you just need to understand that there are different levels to being an account executive, okay? So as you reach the higher levels, your base salary can actually go from it can be between 110 to 120K, and then your OTE can be something like 220K to 280K, and that's like pushing close to like $300,000 a year. And that's very true for like a technology account executive who has like maybe 5 to 8 years of experience. They may be making that amount of money because they know how to close, they know what they're doing, they understand sales prospecting, they know how to lead a team of salespeople, and they get paid the big bucks, a few $100,000 a year to do that job for the company. And of course, because they're selling products and services to other companies, they're probably making more money for the company than they cost. So, if you're an account executive, you've been doing it for like 5+ years, it's not uncommon for you to be reaching more than $200,000 a year and even more if you're actually good at what you do. So now that you understand all this compensation talk, the next question you might be thinking is, should you actually start a career in sales? Well, if you're someone who's not really sure what you want to do, but you love working with people, maybe you're more of an entrepreneurial type where you might want to start your own business in the future. You want to learn a valuable skill that will be around forever. Well, if those are the things that you want, sales absolutely is a yes. I mean, for me, the reason I got into sales in the first place was because I tried to be an entrepreneur after I graduated and I had no luck and I didn't make any money. So that's why I decided to get a sales role at Oracle so I can learn how to sell. And the reason I did that is because I realized if I want to be an entrepreneur in the future, I gotta learn how to sell my own products and services, right? So I might as well get started with the selling part. And that's exactly why I joined Oracle, because I wanted to learn how to sell. I wanted to learn about technology sales specifically. And why I would choose technology sales over any other industry is because I think working at a technology company is quite innovative. A lot of people are very progressive, smart, and they work hard. So it's a very good environment. Number two, technology sales pay extremely well. Number three, there will always be a need for good salespeople and technology in the far foreseeable future. So you're always gonna be valuable. And number four, if you want to do your own startup, your own company, getting that experience, building that network in technology, and then doing something else after it as your own business person or entrepreneur, I think that's also very valuable. And so, I went through that process, and now I got my own sales training business, and I can say it's very true. By learning technology sales first and then doing anything else after, it becomes a lot easier, right? If you want to do your own software company, you want to do your own consulting company, learning the fundamentals in sales and tech, transferable to pretty much anything you do. And so that's gonna be my insight when it comes to salaries and technology sales. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you wanna see more videos like this. Let me know in the comments if you're someone who is interested in starting a career in tech sales, and maybe I can make some more videos to help you guys out and shed more insight. And if you want to actually start and accelerate your sales career, make sure to check out the link in the description for a free training on how to get started, and it's free, so check it out. So with that said, my name is Patrick Dang, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one.